the sign of a knowledgeful soul is sweetness. A knowledgeful soul will always be very, very sweet. Now, what is knowledgeful? So, Baba has given us the knowledge that I am a soul and I am doing whatever I am doing through this body. So, the one performing actions through this body, the one who is discerning and deciding and choosing what to do, what not to do is me, or how to do it is me. So Baba says that until now we thought that it is all outside in. So it is situations, it is other people's behaviors which are determining how I respond or how I act. But now I have understood that it is all inside out. I am a soul and I am sitting in the center of the forehead and I am making the choices, I am taking the decisions, I am creating the thoughts and I am performing the actions. And Baba says that now you know who you are and now you have become Trirical Darshi. Now what is Trirical Darshi? So you know yourself in your totality. You don't know yourself as as just who you are in the moment. So I, the soul, know myself in my totality. So let's say, I'll give you one example. So there was this one brother and he was around 70 years of age, and when he came to the center he was not physically very well because his back had so many issues and he was also struggling with many other physical problems. But he would always sit very straight and be very much on time, and he would be very alert and attentive and active. And I told him one day, if you feel a lot of pain in your back, you can just relax and sit. It's okay. You can take a pillow and you can just sit relaxed and take the course, because the body looked very frail. And then he just looked at me and he said, no, I've been an army officer in my life. So all my life I've been an army officer and I don't need a pillow. So I said, no, it's not. I didn't say it to offend you. I was just saying, if you feel like taking it, you are allowed to do that here. It's not like it's against the discipline or something. So he said, no, I've been an army officer and only the last 10 years, I've been suffering from this physical ailment, and it's okay. But I still get up whenever, I still follow my whole discipline, and my time of getting up is very strict and I maintain it, and I go for a run every day despite this back issue and everything. So when he was talking, I could see him coming from a place of really knowing who he is. So just this one birth. So even if the circumstances have changed now, it's not like he is in service, or it's not like he has the same physical ability right now, but still you just look at the power of consciousness. He remembers who he has been in this life, and because of that he still has the ability to sit straight and be alert and active and attentive and everything, and be very disciplined and on time. because who you are is something you carry here. So you are always carrying this consciousness of who you are here, and who you are defines how you behave, how you respond, and that response, that behavior has got nothing to do with who you're with or what is your situation. It depends on how much you realize who you are. And Baba has given us this knowledge that I am a soul, and in the soul world, I am like this seed. And just like Baba, I'm full. So, Baba is the ocean of knowledge, purity, peace. And I'm also this master ocean of knowledge. I'm also this master ocean of purity, master ocean of peace. And Baba says that you are also like this full seed in the soul world. And just like when a seed is sowed into earth, then it sprouts, and all that is contained inside is manifested outside. Similarly, Baba says, when you, the complete seed, you come here on earth to play your part, then you manifest yourself as a deity. And for 2500 years, you are a deity who has all divine virtues. You have sweetness, you have harmony, you have patience, you have peace, you have unlimited happiness. And Baba says that you are that seed that flowers into this beautiful flower, which is full of fragrance and colors and beauty. And for 2500 years, you're full of these beautiful divine virtues. And then Baba says that even when you become a Bhagat, you are a very good Bhagat. So you build temples, and you are somebody who remembers God from the heart, and you spend 2500 years in bhakti. And then now you are the one who Shiv Baba chooses as his instrument when he comes to carry out his task on earth. So Baba says, just rotate this Swadershan Chakra in your mind all the time. Just remember yourself, your whole journey. Keep reminding yourself of who you really are. Keep going there, keep reminiscing about who you are in the seed stage and what you are like as a deity. And Baba says, when you keep rotating this discus of self-realization, you keep revisiting your whole 84 birth journey with your mind and intellect, then the consciousness of who you really are will emerge inside. And you see that it's not, it doesn't matter what are your conditions today. Maybe somebody doesn't have enough money, or maybe somebody doesn't have a very good healthy body, or maybe the people around you are not very much in your favor. But that's just a very, very small part of your journey. Just look at 5,000 years and just look at the last 10 years or 20 years. How much do they count in this whole journey? They don't even count. And when you look at yourself in your totality, then you realize how great you are, how fortunate you are, how virtuous you are, how elevated you are. And Baba says that I have given you this knowledge of who you are. I have given you this knowledge of who do you belong to, you're God's direct child. And I have also given you the knowledge of who you're going to become. So you see, I am that soul who is going to become a deity very recently. Like I'm just going to leave this body and go become a deity. So Baba says, when you keep this in your consciousness, this knowledge of who you are, who you belong to, and who you have been in your journey, and what you are going to become. So, do you understand that you are that same deity? So, you will leave this costume and again go and become a deity. And I remember there was this one brother, and he was telling me that when he saw the pictures of deities, so when he saw the pictures that there are in the yajna about what a deity would look like, so he said that, I just practiced for one day, that I held it in my awareness that I'm going to look like this, and I'm going to have this expression on my face, and I'm going to be this person next when I leave the body. And I felt so different about myself. So Baba says, just hold this in your awareness all the time about who you really are in your totality, and don't mind whoever you are in the moment. Maybe in the present moment there are some obstacles, there are some hurdles or whatever, but that doesn't matter. But Baba says that in your totality, in your Trikaldarshi stage, just remember who you are in your totality and who you really belong to, how you are the master ocean. And Baba says, always remember who you're going to become when you leave this body and take your new body. And Baba says, when you are knowledgeful, so knowledgeful means when you hold all this in your awareness, then how would you behave? You will be very, very sweet. Yes, because when a soul realizes who they are and they operate inside out, then their behavior would be very, very sweet. And Baba says, treating someone as a friend and another one as an enemy is not something you do, because you have this broad, unlimited vision where you can see that, at this point of time, maybe, somebody is not behaving in my favor, but doesn't matter. In the whole of the cycle, I have been the king, and this soul has always been somebody I have loved and cared for. So Baba says that hold that in your awareness and do away with all other feelings. And another thing, about animosity or considering somebody as your friend and another person as your enemy, so this happens because of lack of knowledge. So you see that I remember there was this news that there was some person who didn't stand up for the national anthem, and in a movie theater. And so there was this guideline that everybody should stand up for the national anthem when it is played in the movie theater. And then there was this one person who kept sitting, and then there were other people who were very perturbed by this, and they complained. But later they figured out that this person couldn't stand. He had one broken leg and he couldn't stand, so he kept sitting. And then suddenly all their all their anger and their complaint, it changed into compassion. Because when you don't know what you don't know, then you behave in a certain way. But when you figure out that which needs to be known, then your behavior, your attitude, everything changes. So Baba also says that, when you think somebody is your enemy or somebody is your friend, or you treat somebody like as your friend or somebody else as your enemy, it's because you don't understand why people are behaving the way they are behaving. So why is somebody behaving the way they are behaving? Because they are under the influence of Maya. Yes, and Maya is such that Maya can kill your conscience, shroud your buddhi, and just, mess up your sanskars. So Baba says that when you see somebody behaving badly, then you understand that this soul is under the influence of Maya. And when you know this, then you have compassion for that soul. You don't judge them for their actions, but you have a lot of compassion because they are under the influence of Maya. And you give them the sakash, you give them the light and might from Baba so that they can free themselves from the trap of Maya. So, and anyways, you see that when you understand that if somebody is not being good to you, then they cannot take away your fortune, but they are spoiling their own karma. So when you understand this, then you have compassion for somebody who is spoiling their own karma, and you want to help them do better rather than you getting irritated about they not behaving well with you, because you understand that anybody's behavior is not going to change your destiny. So do you understand this thing, that anybody who behaves badly with you is in no power to take away your fortune, your destiny from you. But when you respond to them, by being influenced by their behavior, when you react to their behavior, then you spoil your fortune. So have you got this right, that it is my karma that can spoil my fortune? Nobody can take away my fortune from me. So even if somebody is behaving like an enemy, somebody is trying to plant obstacles on your path, or somebody is trying to, make you stumble or make you fall, but you will fall if you don't pay attention to your steps and you start paying attention to what they are doing. You will not fall because of them. You will again fall because of your own choices and your own actions. But if you are not distracted by what they are doing and you hold on to whatever Baba has told you to do, then nobody can take away your fortune. So Baba says that any soul who is knowledgeful understands that there are no enemies and friends. Everybody is a soul, and I have a relationship of love and respect with every soul despite whatever they do, because whatever they are doing is their karma, their choice, and they are making this choice under the influence of Maya, and I need to have compassion and good wishes for them so that they come out of the trap of Maya. So are you always sweet? Because Baba says those who are knowledgeful are always sweet. And I also want to talk about this sweetness, because you see that sometimes, being sweet means, we think that being sweet means being very submissive. So, submitting to the whims and fancies and desires and dictates of others is being sweet. So sometimes, people think that if I always do what the other person says, that is being sweet. Yes, if I don't have my own boundaries in place, because you see that there is this strange fixation with behaving in a manner that everybody says you are very sweet, but being sweet and having everybody say you are sweet is not the same thing. So, it's not, we don't be sweet to be called sweet. So sweetness is my quality, and sweetness must come with boundaries. Yes, so you see, just like we understood that my behavior comes from my choice, my understanding of who I am, and I behave as I am. Similarly, how much I interact or how much time, energy I give to someone, or how much I come into interaction and relationship with someone is my choice. It doesn't depend on their expectation. So, sometimes you feel that if somebody is expecting a lot from you, somebody is expecting you to give 6 hours of your day to them, then an expression of being sweet is you end up giving 6 hours of your day to them. But that's not sweetness. So, just like being knowledgeful means operating inside out. So, it is not operating on the behavior of the other person's expectations of you, or the other person's complaints of you, or the other person's reactions and responses towards you. You choose how much you want to interact, you choose how you want to interact, you choose where you want to draw the line based on who you are and what you understand should be done in the situation. And don't get carried away in the name of being sweet. And I will tell you one thing. There is this one brother, and he approached me and he wrote to me after listening on YouTube, and he said that I want some time of yours and I want to discuss some problems. So that day I was very occupied with other seva. So I told one brother to attend him, and then that brother talked to him. And then he kept writing to me every day that I want time from you, I want to talk to you. And when he talked to the brother, he just kept saying, I can't get up in the morning, I can't have pure food, I have a lot of attraction towards eating impure food, and I can't contain my senses, I go into lust also, and I can't help it, and you do something about it, you do something about it. So that brother said that there is no solution to these things. If you keep saying I can't get up in the morning, nobody can pull you out of the bed and make you get up in the morning, right? So you have to muster the strength to do that. So the brother said that he gave the solutions, that if you can't get up in the morning, just try meditating before you go to sleep, so that you are in a very peaceful stage, and then you can get up earlier than you do, and then slowly, gradually you will get up at Amrit Vela also. So he gave all the solutions. But the thing is, this brother kept saying that no, you Didi, you have to talk to me, you have to talk to me. And then again one day I talked to him, and he kept saying the same things, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then he kept writing to me that you're a very bad person, you're not giving me time, and you are not listening to what I have to say, and you talk about compassion but you're not compassionate. And he kept writing these things to me every day on WhatsApp. And then one day I didn't take class because I was not physically well. So he wrote to me that now you are angry on me and you're not taking classes also. So so why am I sharing this with you is because sometimes the person in front of you may not have any maryada. So sometimes the person in front of you may not have any maryada, the maryada of thought, the maryada of what you should say, the maryada of what you should write, the maryada of how much you should write to somebody. But you have to understand that being sweet means understanding that this soul is under the influence of Maya, and not creating any extra thoughts and just maintaining your boundaries. It's not like, if somebody is pestering you continuously, then giving in to whatever they are asking you for is sweetness. No. you have to draw your boundaries there. And Baba says, sweetness means don't let any, any thought other than good wishes be in your heart. But physically and emotionally and mentally and on a thought level, you have to draw boundaries also. Because sometimes, in this culture where we live, sweetness means not having any boundaries. So you see that in older times we had this thing that anybody can barge in any time into our houses and we could not say no. And why we had this culture is because we thought that's how being sweet means this. But Baba says that no, being sweet doesn't mean that you keep your doors open and your hearts open and your minds open and your emotions open and allow everybody to barge into that all the time. No, Baba says you must have a door, you must have a door which opens inside out. So you should have the handle to that door, and you should be able to choose how much to allow somebody to barge in or not barge in. And if that door is like anybody can push in and come and disturb you and goad you into doing things and saying things and behaving in a manner which they expect you to behave, then that is not being sweet. That is being, what do you say, how will you explain that? That is being full of ego, because ego means that you are deriving your sense of self, your sense of identity from the other person. And being sweet is not about being dependent on somebody feeling that you are sweet, or somebody believing and labeling that you are sweet. So Baba says that being sweet means always in your heart, your mind, you make the choice to have compassion for everyone, but how much you interact, how much you give time to somebody, how much you spend thinking about somebody, how much you give your money to somebody, or how much you give any resource to somebody is completely your choice. And being knowledgeful also means making the right choices. Because you see, if you neglect, so if in a relationship you neglect somebody, that is, you don't give the compassion and the good wishes and the love that they need, then that creates a sin. But also, if in a relationship you don't put the boundary in place and you try to compensate for their efforts, so you are trying to help them not help themselves, but you are trying to substitute their own help by your help, then that is also going to create a sin, the sin of attachment, the sin of crossing boundaries. So this is why Baba says that you have to be sweet, but sweetness has to be understood. And Baba says being knowledgeful also means that this is the end and I have to go back home, and I must prepare for going back home. So how do you prepare for going back home? Will you go with your body and with your relationship and with all the stuff you have? So no. But let's say you want to go back home, but you have a lot of unfinished business lying around. So there is money that you have not spent, there are relationships which you have not done the needful in, and there is a body which you have not taken care of. Then in your final moments, these will pull you towards themselves. So when you want to go back, when you understand that I have to go back, then the only way to be free from the pulls of the body, the relationships and everything that you have is to do the needful for them. So, when you have not done your needful in something, then they will pull your attention towards themselves in the end. So, let's say you have a body. So, you have to do the needful for the body. And what is doing the needful for the body? Making good use of your physical energy in Yajna Seva. So Baba says, before you go, sab kuch safal karo. So put everything to good use before you go, so that it doesn't pull your attention while you are leaving. So Baba says, do the needful for your relationships, do the needful for the money that you have, put it to good use, so that it doesn't pull you when you have to leave the body or leave the resources or leave the relationships. And I shared this in another class, and I remember there was this one Mata, and her son was killed, and her son was just 13 years of age, and somebody murdered the son. And this Mata, when she came, she had cried a lot and her tears had all dried up. And then she told me, Didi, when I sit in my silent moments, the only thing I think about is that I had told my son something about being a soul. And although he was 13 years of age, because I and he were the only people for each other, so I had told him a lot about, how you are a soul, and even when the body dies, you don't die, and you live after the body also. And she said that I had never thought that my son would die, but I had thought about my death, and I had kind of, to prepare him for my death, I had told him these things. But now that he has transitioned into his onward journey, it gives me a lot of peace to think that he had some knowledge of the soul, and maybe in his final moments he would have thought that I am a soul and I am going to take another body. So he wouldn't have felt the pain and the agony of leaving this body to that intensity. So you see that Baba says that do the needful before you leave. Just use this body enough. So the more so the only act of freeing yourself from the pulls of everything that's there in the old world is putting it into seva. So when you use something for seva, then you free yourself from the attachment of it, from the pull of it. Whether it is your own body, just do so much seva through the body that you free yourself from the bandhan of the body. So the only way to free yourself from the burdens, the pulls of everything that you have in the old world, is to put it to seva. And just like in relationships, give everybody the message that you are there to give them as a relationship. So why are you there in relation to them? Because they need to hear from you the message about the soul, the message about Shiv Baba. So give them the message. Use your body in seva, use your wealth in seva, use everything that you have in seva. Because when you have done this needful in relation to whatever there is in the old world, then when you leave the body, these things will not pull you, because there is no karmic account pending and you have already done your bit as far as these things are concerned. So Baba says these are the signs of a knowledgeful soul. Knowledgeful souls means sweetness with boundaries, and then getting ready to go and finishing the unfinished business, putting everything to good use before you go so that nothing pulls you in the final moments. Okay, Om Shanti.